and welcome to the Languages faculty. I'm Mrs. Broom, Head of the Languages faculty. We're really lucky in this school to have three modern languages, Spanish, French and German, and we also offer Latin and Classical Civilisation, which we'll talk more about in a moment. In the Languages department you can study A-levels in all three languages or even an AS in one if you're interested, normally after having studied it at GCSE. There's all sorts of things that you get to study in the topics. They're slightly different for each language, but the main concepts include the culture, the language, grammar, studying film and literature, normally rooted in the target language country, so the language that's spoken in those countries. So for example, in Spanish you could study Pan's Labyrinth, you could read literature set in the 1920s, or in French you could be looking at modern cinematography or Francois Truffaut. The topics that you cover throughout the course include history, politics, current affairs, modern issues such as the world of work or education, cultural heritage to where the language is spoken around the world, and learning a little bit more, say, about where Spanish is spoken in the world or where French is spoken in the world. So not just focusing on Spain or France or Germany, which is a wonderful thing to be able to develop. We have in the past been able to offer language assistant time with some of our students, as well as specialist teachers for all three subjects, some of whom are also examiners for AQA, which is the exam board that we do. We have extracurricular opportunities as well. So last year we were able to take part in a debating competition in different languages. We have also been able to previously take students to world cinema showings in Manchester, and magazine opportunities as well are available so that students can purchase magazines that are at the right level of study for them to develop their awareness of the world. Students are encouraged to use their independent study time to find out more about the Spanish, French or German speaking world, follow news articles, find out more about celebrities, and maybe just find out things that interest them so that they can enhance their own knowledge as well. We're also lucky enough in QEGS to have our own languages lab, which we try to ensure that our sixth formers get time in, so they get used to playing audio for themselves, which is one of the main differences between GCSE and A-level. And many of our students do go on to study languages at university. Although that's not an absolute essential, many students take languages simply because they enjoy it. But we do have students going on to take their language further, possibly adding in another or combining it with pretty much any other subject, from medicine to English to teaching to business. So languages are a wonderful addition to any area of study. I'll pass you over now to Miss Grindley, who is our Head of Classics.
Hi. So we also have Classics and Latin as part of the Languages faculty. Latin for obvious reasons, Classics because it fits in well. In terms of Latin A-level, it's helpful if you studied it at GCSE. Unfortunately, we don't do beginner to A-level in 2 years, that's a bit much. But if you have, then we do Cicero and Livy as our prose text, and we do Virgil as our verse text, which is brilliant, and you just keep improving your language skills all the way through. For Classical Civilisation, we do some really great modules. We do the Homeric world, so we study the Odyssey and the Aeneid. The Odyssey is a guy trying to get home from a 10-year war, and it takes another 10 years. And the Aeneid's about founding Rome, so that's really good. And then on the other side, we do Greek theatre, which is great because we get lots of chance to do acting. We take you out on a trip, hopefully, if that helps, if that happens, to see a Greek theatre production, one of the ones you study, hopefully. And then we also do Love and Relationships, which is about how the ancients viewed their relationships and how they wrote about their relationships in poetry, whether filial or sexual or friendship relationships. So that's brilliant. In terms of going on and studying further, we've had sixth formers who go on to do town planning. We've had people going to work at BAE, to go into teaching, journalism. We've got one who wants to be a paramedic. You don't have to go into classics, but if you do, we've got 3 out of the 5 this year who do want to go into classics at university, which is fantastic. It opens all doors. It's a good transferable skill subject. So it would be great to see you, and hope you enjoy sixth form.